come on here more often because, man, I have so much to say. I have so much to say, and I know God is leading me to really begin to share what He's put on my heart. Okay? So without further ado, if you can hear me, cool. If you can't, catch the replay. All right? So I want to ask you something. The moment you walk in, okay, listen closely. When was the last time somebody checked on you? Not how are you in passing. Not a text between errands. I mean, somebody sat with you. When was the last time I actually sat with you and they looked you in the eye and actually waited for the real answer? When was the last time that happened for you? Don't worry, I'll wait. I will wait. Because if you're having to think about it, stay right there. I want you just to sit in that for a little bit because tonight is for you, right? Tonight is for you. So, who is the strong friend? Who is the strong friend? So, the picture of this woman, she's the one everyone calls, no matter if she is going through her own struggles. She is the fixer, right? She is the first responder of her friend group or her family. She is that girl in the workplace. She is that girl at home to her family, her friends. She is the go-to girly. That's what I call her. She's a go-to. She's likely a planner. She's likely a multi-dimensional type of woman, multi-purpose, which just simply means she operates in a lot of different facets. So she is often called on because she is a solution center. This woman is a solution center. Okay. She doesn't get asked very often, and from a genuine place, how she's really doing. She's also focused on thinking ahead for everybody else. Okay. And everyone tends to assume that this woman has it all together, so she's fine because she always seems fine. But the reality is, she's not always fine. She's not always fine. That's just the harsh reality. This woman is not always fine, but she doesn't feel safe enough in the community that she presently has to let her guards down and say, "This is what's going on with me." That is who the strong friend is. Okay. She doesn't, she's actually really easy to deal with if you pay attention to her. The strong friend is a woman that needs, it could be a male too, because there's a lot of men that, hold it down for their friends and family too. But right now we're focused on the women. Okay. The strong friend is a woman that not only is she the go-to for everyone else and the solution center for everyone else, she provides a lot of solutions for herself. So she doesn't necessarily need people on paper, right? And I always say she doesn't need people on paper because this woman is a woman that is I mean, she just has it in her. It's in her to make things right. It's in her to fix things. And she knows that, life can be a whole lot worse. So she tends to not magnify the depths of her pain. She tends to not magnify all that she's really carrying, right? And so typically this woman is not someone that's going to reach out first. Okay. So I'm not giving y'all excuses, ladies, because some of you strong friends need to actually learn how to communicate when something is going on. Okay. And when you get to a place where you feel safe within yourself, it makes it really easy for you to actually say, "Hey, this is what's going on with me." And you will develop friendships of people that can hear your voice or hear your heart without you ever having to say a word. Okay. So I want to ask you guys to drop a muscle in the comments if this is you, if you're the strong friend. Drop the little muscle emoji in the comments if you are the strong friend. And then I want you all also to drop in the comments some hands raised up if you have a strong friend. Okay. So do that for me. If you are the strong friend, drop it in the comments. If you have a strong friend, drop it in the comments as well. Okay. So continuing on. She's also someone that didn't choose this role, right? Strong friends don't choose the role of being a strong friend. This is not something that she is just said, I'll sign up to be a strong friend. Ain't nobody signing up to be the Lord's toughest warrior, because most strong friends are those that can go to battle and mourn on the move. They can have an issue going on at home, but the second that their friend calls them or their family member calls them with something they deem greater than what they're going through, they'll compartmentalize it and be able to show up because God has made you that way. God has wired you to be a strong friend. Now, this does not mean you don't have any weaknesses. This simply means you need to take time to actually take care of yourself. Okay. It just means how you carry your weaknesses, how you steward your issues or traumas or emotional baggages is going to look different than somebody else that is not what you deem as a strong friend. However, strong friends need permission. High capacity women need permission. They need permission to lay their burdens down. Now, why do they feel like they need permission? Why do we as strong friends feel like we need permission? Well, it's because we believe the lie of the enemy that no one's going to care, no one's going to check on us, it's always going to be this way, so on and so forth. And the truth is, that's just not the case. The problem is we keep expecting us from other people. And God has already told us, for one, his strength is made perfect in our weakness. And so if we're always carrying that strength, we can never allow God to step in and be our strong friend because that's who he is to us. So every one of us has a strong friend. His name is Jesus, the Holy Spirit, the Son. We have a strong friend, but in the realm of the spirit, but in the natural, to have someone like Daniel had. He had friends that was willing to go to war with him, that was willing to stand up and say, "Hey, that's my friend." And if he said we don't bow, we don't bow. All the other two gentlemen that was with him, so Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, which were Daniel's friends, they were bold. They were not afraid of persecution. They were not afraid of being affiliated with Daniel because they could have been thrown in the lion's den too. But when you have a strong friend, this is someone that will stand the test of time. You guys will not always get along, but you guys love each other enough to push past that tough exterior because we know that life has created this. Our experiences have created this. Some of our own shortcomings have created this. Some of our own lackadaisicalness on our boundaries is what has created us to be guarded, overprotective of ourselves because we've made bad decisions. We've had people come in close to us that we knew were not who God had called us to be in relationship with. And a lot of us, because we see a problem that we may have a solution for, we are already ready to go ahead and start fixing it. But sometimes people are not looking for us to fix it. They're simply looking for us to just be present. Okay. So this role didn't choose you. I'm sorry. It didn't choose you. You didn't choose the role. I mean, the role chose you. God chose you for this role. Okay. And somewhere along the way, you stop questioning it. You stop questioning it. Okay. Somewhere along the way, you stopped and said, why am I the strong friend? Why does everybody always come to me? Why does it feel like I'm carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders? You started to question, why am I the strong friend? Why do I have to deal with all of this? I'm not going to answer my phone anymore. You started to get weary and well doing. In the moment you realize you were the strong friend, what was y'all's aha moment? What was the moment that you realized that you were the strong friend? I know for me, I realized I was a strong friend when I was pregnant is all get out. And I do mean pregnant. I'm talking about to bust open with the baby, 8, 9 months pregnant. And I had one person in particular that would call me 6, 7 o'clock in the morning every day, every day. Didn't care if I had just gone to sleep because you know when you're pregnant, you have insomnia, you be tired and stuff like that, and would just dump. They would dump all of their issues on me, and they would get off the phone feeling so much better. Now here I am trying to pick up the pieces to what's going on with this friend. So now, as I'm picking up their issues and I'm still carrying mine, so I'm like dog tired, but I'm still answering the phone. Where are all my 3 a.m.ers at? Where are my 3 a.m.ers at? Because the 3 a.m.ers are the ones you can call and you know they're going to answer their phone. You know they're going to either pray with you. You know they're going to show up. And then I had a few people call me and was like, girl, I'm ready to go jack his car up. And I'm just like, let's do it. Back when I was younger, okay, not at my big age now, but back then, don't call me with no stuff because you know I'm gonna actually do something about it. We're not just gonna talk about it. We gonna be about it. And we get to the dude's house, and they was like, "Well, I don't wanna go through with busting the windows out of his car. You didn't want to be Jasmine Sullivan no more." And I was like, "Oh, baby, you got me out my bed." And at the time, I was working full time and going to school. You got me out my bed, so I'm finna let out a little bit of this pressure because you done got me out my bed. So I go, baby, and I took a car jack, tow that car straight on down the middle. And they running scared. I was like, hey, don't call me because we gonna follow through. You say he mistreating you, all these other things. We laugh about it now, but I was like, hey, if we here now. So what we finna do? I am that kind of friend. Now, I'm gonna talk you off the ledge now. But back then, I was with it. Whatever type time you was on, I was on. To a degree. Now I ain't going to jail for nobody. Um, or hell. Okay. So needless to say, that's when I realized I was a strong friend. And that was when I was about 20 years old. I think I was like 19 or 20 years old. Um, and from there, I just began to take on what I'm going to start calling cases. These were cases like I was in, what's the name of that show? Criminal Minds or something. Criminal Minds, or like the show I like now, it's called Found. I was taking on cases and I'm getting down to the bottom of their problems. And I am literally pushing my life to the side. I'm literally neglecting myself and my purpose and my dreams and my own family when I started to have a family. And I would get off the phone. I'll never forget it. My husband would say to me, every time you get off the phone with this particular person, you always come at me with a loaded gun. Now, I'm gonna give you context. The loaded gun was because they were filling up my clip with all of their bullets. That was their problems. And I'm not realizing this because my heart is so big and I love people and I want to be there and support people. I want it to be what I needed. The enemy will never trick you with anything that is not necessarily good right off the bat. So if it's a good thing, he will manipulate the situation to have you thinking like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm doing a good thing. I'm doing a noble thing. However, if we are not doing the God thing, this is where we find ourselves in deep trouble. Okay. And this is where I found myself. I found myself in deep trouble because I started to try to be God for these people. And so these people would come and cast all their cares on me. And I still have cares that I need to cast on Jesus. And instead of me pointing them to Jesus and saying, hey, there's somebody that can help you with this better than I can. Now, I can stand proxy and pray with you and believe with you and talk you down off the ledge. But at the end of the day, the strongest friend that you can have is Jesus Christ. He said, come unto me, all those that are heavy laden and burdened, I will give you rest. And so the problem, every time I got off that phone call, I have bullets in my gun that I did not load. I have bullets in my gun that was for somebody else. The bullet was for somebody else, but my husband was taking the bullets in their place. And he look at me like, hey, I ain't do nothing. I ain't do nothing. Why are you coming at me like that? And so it happened like a couple times, and then he was like, wait a minute. Excuse me, ma'am. I'm gonna need you to stop talking to this person because every time you get out the phone, you hear their husband drama or you hear their friend drama and all these other things. You begin to absorb that. You begin to become who they should be to the people that they should be putting this stuff out on. And now I'm getting attacked for something I didn't even do. Now y'all know. I know y'all remember when y'all was children growing up. And your mama be, and maybe this ain't happening to y'all, but my mom used to do this all the time. She'd be on the phone talking to my auntie, and my auntie would tell her something that my cousins did, and baby, I was guilty too. Ashley bet not never. So now I'm catching strays because my cousin over there messing up, and I get off the phone, she's coming at me with the loaded gun. It was the same way. Well, that's because she was taking on what that other child's parent was telling them what their kid was doing. And so they were trying to make sure that I didn't do the same thing. But that's not the way to go about it. And so the more I grew, the more I start to understand, wait a minute, I'm not God. God is God. I am not God. I am Ashley. And at the time, I did not have a strong friend. I didn't even have language. Like, what is a strong friend? And I'm starting to see this trend now where a lot of strong friends don't want to be strong friends anymore. But that's the plot of the enemy. The enemy wants you to think that being a strong friend is not worth it. But the reality is, God needs us to be strong friends. He needs people that will stand 10 toes down, like Jonathan did for David. He needs people that other people can trust to come to and sit with them and not judge their humanity, not judge their divinity off of their humanity. Okay. And so that was a moment that I realized I was the strong friend. So I was about 19, 20 years old. And I didn't have language for what I was dealing with, what I was feeling, and why people would be like, well, you don't ever call me no more. I said, yeah, because you don't got nothing happy to say. We don't get on the phone and just cackle. Can we just get on the phone sometimes and just laugh? Is that possible? To just get on the phone and laugh and not have any issues, even if you have issues going on? Can we get on the phone and before you say, girl, let me tell you what so and so, before we do that, can we just talk about how we're both doing, what plans we're working on? And then I start to realize I was hanging out with the wrong people. I did not have proper strong friends. Now, this does not negate the couple of friends that God did bless me with that are strong friends. Shout out to y'all. Y'all know who y'all are. They've been holding me down for decades now. Um, but to the people that will come around and they will literally, I think it was a commercial. She was like, fun suckers. Like they literally will suck the life out of you. If you let them, people will suck the life out of you and you will begin to resent people altogether. You will become a introvert. Meanwhile, God is like, you're not an introvert. You're actually an extrovert, but life has made you recluse. And with that understanding, I think it's important for us to acknowledge that we sometimes will put off on people what we need to put on God. This is why the strong friends are drained. This is why they are struggling. This is why they don't want to help none of y'all no more. I was gonna say something else, but they don't want to help y'all tails no more. They don't want to be there to support you anymore because support is now starting to feel like a prison sentence. It's feeling like it's starting for a strong friend. It feels more like I have to do this. It's like an obligation. And so now they're at the point where they're putting their hands up and they're saying, "Hey, Lord, go ahead on. I don't want this role no more." And they're starting to resent the role that God has given them. The whole time, God is like, "Hey, I need you in this role as a strong friend because who can the other strong friends go to? Where will these people that I've called to lean on you, how can they lean on you?" And then I started to look at my life objectively and say, "Hey, God has given me this role. Like the Bible says, too much is given, much is required." And so I'm not saying that other friends are not blessed. However, those that God calls to do great things and that God entrusts with the hearts of people, He does bless them mightily. And so, as we are strong friends, our reward is not people appreciating us. Yes, that is nice. Yes, it is a beautiful thing to have. Our reward is in heaven. We are laying up treasures in heaven, but don't resent your role because people have ruined it for you and yourself because we take on too much. We don't have good boundaries half the time. Our nervous system is always deregulated. Every time that person calls you, you get to just shaking like, "Oh, what now?" You start to be grieved in your spirit. All of that is because you are now operating in a place that only God can operate for these people. Only God can operate for these people in this place. And this is why you're feeling burnt out. This is why you are a high capacity woman and you're struggling with relationships and calling. This is why your nervous system is not sure if you're safe. So it keeps making up these false threats. And your mind is starting to play tricks on you. You're starting to turn your back on the people that God actually did call to you to serve you and to be in this life with you. You're starting to be bitter. And that bitterness is going down into your bones and you're carrying it in your wound and your thyroid is starting to act up and you're overweight. You're the heaviest you've ever been in your life. And this is why, because you're carrying burdens that God did not give you to carry. The Bible says we should share in one another's burdens. That does not mean we are supposed to take their burdens off of them and carry it for them. Carry it with them. Give the assistance when it is needed, when you have the capacity. But don't, you are not God. Just say this with me. I am not God. I am not God. God is God. God can use me as a vessel to do what he needs to do through me. But every strong friend needs a friend. Every David needs a Jonathan. Every Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego needs a David, a Daniel. Every strong friend needs a friend. Okay. So when I first realized that I was a strong friend, um, I had no language for it. I had no understanding of what it meant. But when the Bible says, as I in Proverbs says, iron sharpens iron. Think about that. That sounds like a strong friend to me. Iron can sharpen iron. You have to have strength to be able to sharpen another person that is strong. You have to have boldness. You have to have your own leadership capabilities to be able to sharpen somebody else that is also a leader in their own right and not be intimidated or not feel some type of way when they come and they correct you in love. But a lot of you are hanging around people that are wood and they're starting to dull you. That wood is starting to make you dull. It's starting to chip at your light. It's starting to chip at your strength. And now you're finding yourself being weak and not a normal weakness. You're starting to find yourself languishing. Languishing means to become weak, weaker and weaker and weaker. And then it turns into lethargy. Then it turns into spiritual apathy. You see, the goal of wood is to take a person down. So, oh, but they my friend. They show up to all my events, but the whole time behind their back, they talking about you. You in a tough season. Oh, she ain't perfect now because for whatever reason, people think strong friends always assume that they're perfect. And the truth is, we don't assume that we're perfect. We just don't come take all of our stuff and dump it on people because we know what it feels like. Okay. And so what it cost me was my voice. What it cost me was almost my marriage because now I'm going to look for somewhere else, someone else to share in my burdens. I'm looking for friendships and then I'm looking for relief. Ultimately, I was looking for relief. And when I didn't find relief, this is where people turn to food. This is where people turn to overworking. So workaholics, alcoholic. This is where people start to say, you know what? Bump this lifestyle. Bump trying to be pure. Bump trying to live upright, circumspect, and be there for other people. I just want to do me. If that is you, I have some news for you. Doing you is expensive. Doing you is expensive. If God has given you the role of being a strong friend, it is because there is something in you that He has called you to do. And he needs you to fulfill that purpose. Okay. And so the moment I hit the wall was when I nearly lost my marriage in 2017. I had lost a ton of weight. Okay, I was feeling after I had my two babies, I was feeling myself. Listen, my husband wasn't paying me no mind like I wanted him to, and he never came to me with any of his problems, and that was odd for me. I was like, this is so odd because I'm so used to people coming and just giving me all their problems. And so when he was not trying to give me all of his problems and all of his trauma, I thought something was wrong with him. So I'm like, oh, he hiding something. So now here comes the enemy, and the enemy is telling me all of these things in my mind because I'm used to people dumping on me, and the one person that God gifted me did not dump on me. He did not unload on me. And when I hit that wall in 2017, I realized I had allowed a youthful desire, a desire to be fully seen, a desire to be fully loved, um, a desire to have someone that could carry me. When that desire gave way to sin, it caused me to fall into idolatry. And that idolatry caused me to fall into adultery. And so after I hit that wall, almost losing my marriage, my by the grace of God, my husband had graciously forgiven me and we love each other deeply, even the more now. But I realized I was carrying the weight of the world that nobody asked me to carry. Even the people that was coming to me. If I would have just said, girl, you need to go get some therapy. The most I got for you is some girl therapy. Baby, we can go to the beach, we can go touch on some blankets at Home Goods. But I do not have any clock hours that I need to fulfill as a counselor. So you need to go get your help from somebody else. I can help you find somebody. That's right. I can do that. Yeah. I could talk with you and just be a listening ear because we should be able to lean on our friends. We should be able to be someone that can come assist them in their times of hardship or grief or whatever. We should be able to do that, right? However, you have to know where the line is between you being there for somebody and you literally taking on everything from that person, absorbing everything. The world calls it an empath, but that's not what it is. Okay? This is this is deeper than just having empathy for somebody. You're literally you're consuming their issues, their darkness with your light. But the whole time, that darkness is dimming yours. So when I hit that wall, listen, hair start falling out even more. I was stressed out. I didn't even look like myself. I was stressed out, and it was not worth it. And so I was searching for something that in people, I was searching for something in people that only existed with God. And so as I began to go along, my turning point was I couldn't find rooms where other people thought like I did or had an understanding of what I was going through, could give me language for what I was dealing with, could provide a space for me to encounter the Lord or give me the tools that I needed so that I could be who I needed to be. I didn't have a room like that. I didn't have people like that during that season that could articulate or create a space for me to come so that I could get well, so I can lay my burdens down, so that I can remember who God has called me to be, so that I can fill my cup, so that God can fill my cup, so that I can go out and still overflow on other people. So I built it. I built the room. I built the room. And that room is the Strong Firm Retreat. You see, the gap that I saw, especially for women, right? I see this with men too. Men need a space. Oh my gosh, that's like, I'm gonna have to do a whole separate live about just the strength of a man and just why men struggle a lot of times to articulate what they're going through because there's not a lot of language for men, or if there is, they are made to feel less than, or emasculated, or if a man cries, it's all of these stigmas. And so we're starting to see more men become gentle giants instead of being wild warriors. And so at the end of the day, what I saw in conferences, they would send you home with a to-do list. The girls' trips would leave the strong friend feeling drained and feeling less rested than when they came, like they needed a vacation from their vacation. Baby, that's not a vacation, that was a trip. Therapy was only 1 hour a week. None of it was built specifically for her. None of these things were built specific. We have all these women empowerment events, these brunches. And soon as you get to the point where you want to have a deep conversation, where you want to talk about the betrayals in a room where you feel supported, like I don't need you to rub my back. And some people ain't like that. They don't want you to touch them or hold them while they're going through their emotions. But then there are some people that need that, and they need someone to sense like, hey, I'm gonna just go up and just stand behind my sister and let her break for a little bit. I noticed that with a lot of events that people put on, where is the transformation? We feel good. We take cute pictures. We out there with the girls. Listen, I love me a good women's event. Okay. Don't play with it. However, there's always that depth of true connection, authenticity. It's missing. That's the gap that's missing. Okay. And so what makes the retreat different, it's not about doing more. Actually, it's about finally receiving. So the women that come to the Strong From Retreat, they usually struggle with receiving. I've had to tell women at other retreats, like, hey, put that down. Somebody else is going to take care of that for you. Because when they see a need, they fill the gap, right? However, this is a space where you can finally receive, you can finally break down, and guess what, sis? Ain't nobody gonna come judge you for what you've done or what you're carrying, or whatever lies you've believed, whatever what is it called? Imposter syndrome you've been dealing with. Even though people tell you that you're that girl, that you are fire, you are dope, you are brilliant, you don't believe it sometimes. So much so to the point where you've gotten so comfortable and content with being in a supportive role The God is trying to thrust you out in front. He said, hey, you got to stop hiding in the background. You got to stop being a supportive role. Or those that are in the front, they feel like they can't break because they have to keep it together for other people's. This is other people's. This is where the strong friend retreat comes in. I see a lot of people saying, I am no longer available to be a strong friend. Well, what about the friends that actually need you to be strong, that can give you back what you are giving out? What about them? That's who God has ordained you for. Some people are assigned to you. Some people are assignments, and some people are assigned to you, to your life, to your walk. And those that are assigned to you are your strong friends. Those that are assignments, they are not your strong friend. I think the problem is we've used the term friend too loosely, and we've allowed people too closely because we know what it has felt like to not be seen or to be fully loved or to be cared about or to not be judged unrighteously. So we try to create and hold space for those type of people. But the truth is, you can't hold that space for everybody. Jesus had the 12, he had three, and he had one. Why are we any different? We're not. We're not. So, this is a space for you to finally receive. Okay. And so, the 2026 theme is redemption. And why this word? Because we are redeeming our time. God is going to redeem the time that you have spent frivolously out here, giving everybody every bit of you. God is going to redeem all of your hopes and your dreams, your thoughts, your wishes, your zeal for life. God is going to redeem you. He is going to redeem you and give back to you what you have given to other people that was really supposed to be for you. Y'all have given people information or skill sets or whatever, and those people have been able to go on and be successful in life, and you're still kind of sitting on ideas and things that God has impressed upon you to do. So God is going to redeem you. Okay. And what that means for this woman watching, if for you watching, what that redemption means is no matter what you did, no matter how much you procrastinated, no matter how much weight you have allowed to pack on your body, God still sees you worthy of saving. So much so, he thought you were to die for. He laid down his life. He laid down his son's life for you. His son chose to die for you. You are literally to die for. And so, why not be redeemed? Why not have that book finally be put out? Why are we having to wait until it's my time? What if it's always been your time, but because you've been so burnt out, but because you have been so giving of yourself, you didn't have space or time to fulfill your own purpose. And so Jacksonville is where we're having this retreat. It's going to be at a beautiful resort here. You see some palm trees. We're going to be near the beach. It's going to be beautiful. The hotel is such a relaxing place. And what these 4 days look like. Oh, thank you. What these 4 days actually feel like is rest, worship, sisterhood, and an encounter. You're going to have an encounter here. I built the room that I always needed, and I want you in it. Plain and simple. I built a room that I needed, and I want you in it. And so I want to take a moment to slow down and just ask, what's one thing you've been carrying that you haven't told anyone? Either you can drop it in the comments, you can send me a DM, or you can write it down. What's one thing? What's one thing you have been holding on to that you haven't told anybody? And I want you to sit with that for a while. What's one thing I've been holding onto for all this time? And thank you guys for joining the live and catching the replay. This has been such a powerful time together. You see, this is exactly why retreats exist, because you need a room where you can say that out loud and not be the one who has to fix it after. You need a room where you can say, this is what I am going through, and it sucks. And no one look at you sideways. Now, we might have some more questions, but no one is going to be obligated to fix it for you. You will get your answer from God. God will hand tailor an answer for you. You will have an encounter with God that will shift everything for you. A lot of high capacity women, high achieving women, a lot of women that are the strong friend, they go through a lot of nervous system irregulation. If you've ever gone through any type of trauma and have not got inner healing and deliverance to help you with that trauma, you're living in survival mode. It makes it hard for you to find the girls that get it. Okay. And so when we live in that space too long, our hearts, our minds, when they're always operating on the go, you literally don't have space. You don't have space to heal. And this is why our bodies will shut down and we'll get sick and we'll be sick for 2 weeks and we're take it or we're not getting proper sleep and then we sleep for 3 days straight. That's because you're living in burnout. You're living in survival mode. You're living in strength that is yours because it is the strength of God that is made perfect in our weakness. But if you're never weak, sis, how can God be made strong in you? You think you are being able to show up for everybody is just by happenstance? That is the grace of God in you. That is the strength of God through you. And when you get to the end of his grace and his strength, you can feel it, but you push past it. And when we stop pushing past um, that check engine light, because God is like, sit your tail down somewhere. When we push past that, God is like, it's nothing I can do. She's too strong. She don't need me. She don't need me. Okay. So, with that being said, I would like to ask you a couple things. If you felt anything tonight, put it in the comments. If you're catching the replay, put it in the comments. If this stirring you, if this stirred you, um, that stirring, that recognition, that quiet, she's talking about me, I need you to rest in that and say, you know what? I need to go and get help. And listen, I'm just a person. I'm just what do people say now? I'm just a girl. I'm just a person. However, I have done the work. I am the softest that I've ever been. I'm like a beautiful butterfly. Soft and more gentle with my husband. Um, Able to feel love again because I used to be very numb to love. I stopped looking like what I was going through. I learned boundaries that didn't just keep the wrong people out, but it also didn't keep me trapped inside because some of y'all got boundaries that are prison cells and you're locking yourself away from being loved in the right community of people, from receiving from God because our own, when we're in our own strength, God can, what can he do? You don't need him. And so we want to stop relying on ourselves and begin to rely on God and the people he will send to us to help us through this journey. And so my birthday is in 10 days and I'm super excited about this. Um, this is a special birthday to me because you know how they say when you enter certain age brackets, you just have like this aha moment. It's like you wake up. Man, it's one of those kind of birthdays. And so I have opened up 20 spaces for the founders pricing. It's open right now. This is the lowest that this retreat will ever be because it's 4 days, 4 days, 3 nights of a phenomenal experience, a phenomenal encounter. We're not just gonna do all the inner work, we're gonna have fun too. Okay. I love a good time because that is also girl therapy. Girl therapy is also having a good time with other people who get it, who you can be authentic around, who you don't have to dim your light or shrink. Like, no, we want you to show up big, loud, and vibrant. That's what we want in this room. Okay. And so the price for general, the exhale experience is 747. Like I said, this is the lowest this retreat will ever be again. And the price for the overflow experience, which is our VIP experience, is 1147. Okay. So there are payment plans through Afterpay and Klarna at checkout. But once this special ends, that's it. Once the seats fill, that's it. You'll have to catch the early bird, and then from there, just the regular admission. If you are interested, I want you to comment retreat below, and I will personally send you the link to the retreat, or you can grab it at the link in my bio. Or you can head over to www.ashleymsturgis.com /the Strong Friend Retreat. And you can find out all the details, dates, location, tentative schedules, so on and so forth. And so you have been strong enough for everyone. Let September be the place for you to find true rest and to get another level of strength that only God can give you. Because we don't need you to give up. We need you to stay in your role. We don't want you to resent the role. We want you to find your other strong friend. We want you to find your people. I've heard people say this plenty of times. Just where are my people? When am I going to find my people? Well, baby, you've got to get outside sometimes. You got to get outside. Sometimes you got to be open to speaking to people. Some of you need to be open to cutting people off. Because people is being placeholders in your life, and God can't send the right people because you already got somebody fulfilling a role that they're not even qualified for. Not for this season. For the season you're entering into, the level that God is trying to take you, you need people that without a shadow of a doubt know how to stand in some fire and not be moved. Okay? So I want you to sign up for this retreat, grab your founder spot. I'm telling you, this is an encounter that I think so many other women need in this season. The men need it too, but how much greater would it be if women could come together, find their other strong friend? Y'all can put that strength together, and then y'all can have beautiful marriages where y'all pray for each other, y'all fast together, like she supports you at your events. She's not asking you, even though she's talented for it or she charges other people for it, she's willing to give her resources because she knows that you're good soil. This is what this retreat is about. High caliber women are going to be in the room, women that get it, women that don't listen. When you say we going on a group trip, where we going, sis? Either she can come or she can't come. Even if she can't show up to a birthday party, she's going to send you gifts. You're still going to be thought of. This is a space where you can be loved fully in sisterhood, safe sisterhood. And I think it's going to be absolutely powerful. It's going to be powerful. Okay. Let September be your space. Perfect weekend, September 3rd through the 6th, Labor Day weekend. How beautiful. You've been doing all that laboring. It's time to rest. It's time to take some time off. Okay. It's time to take some time off. So if you have any questions, go ahead and drop it in the comments. Get on my email list because they get a lot of deals and specials. And yeah, I think it's high time that we start falling into the place where we are living from a place of inner peace and not just doing all the cute self-care things, going on all the trips and still leaving those trips empty, not seeing the transformation in our life and feeling like we're stuck or like, man, when are things going to shift for me? Okay. So you have everything you need. Your greatest asset is access. Be careful who you share it with. Be careful who you share your access with. God bless you all, and I will see you next time. Bye.